It was nice to be recognized out of here. I wasn't given anything. Everything I have now, I had to work for it, work real hard for it. And I started from the bottom, just like, I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, I wasn't supposed to graduate college. I'm not supposed to be a successful bodybuilder. I should be dead right now from Chicago. If only these guys knew about the gym and would just get in the gym, they wouldn't even have to worry about looking cool on the street. Like, you can look cool in the gym. When you look at it as, I came from nothing, you came from nothing, we're the same people. No matter where you're from, we're still the same person. We can still accomplish the same dreams, have the same goals. Right now is men's physique. Winning the Arnold, winning the Olympia, that's my goal right now. We might be smaller bodybuilders, but we're still bodybuilders, and we still train legs, just getting my legs ready for next year. Once they're developed and they match my upper body, then yeah, I'll be competitive in classic physique. But, well, now I want to fill up my board shorts because they just look good.
Board shorts? Good Lord have mercy. Okay, go ahead.
You know, these categories like men's, I don't know what it is where they wear these long shorts and don't need to train legs.
I've tried so hard to get into the men's physique, I just can't do it.
Let's be straight about it. These are quite easy to compete in. You know, if you're a young person, you're quite lean, you could train for 12 months maybe and do a bikini or a men's fitness or whatever it's called.
The essence of bodybuilding is legs, okay? That's what separates the men from the boys, the champs from the chumps, okay? It's legs.
Men's physique guys got this like misconception where we don't train legs, but we do.
If you want to train your legs, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to train them like hard like a bodybuilder, you can do that too. But they're not being scored, so they don't matter.
Men's physique gets a lot of shit, you know, but it's not the same sport. It's completely different, you know, to each their own.
You know those guys are working really hard. Just being like a low body fat percentage, it hurts. Like, it's not easy to maintain.
Eu acho que é porque essa questão do bodybuilder e o physique, eles acharem que pelo fato da gente usar uma bermuda, talvez a gente não passe realmente a realidade que eles passam, sabe?
Those guys work very hard and it's very difficult to obtain. But it's a little bit more obtainable and more relatable too.
I mean, I wasn't too big for men's physique, honestly, but I just, you know, I liked the idea of being able to showcase my whole physique, being able to pose.
There's no bodybuilding posing. It's supposed to be more of just a natural, hey, this is what I look like on the beach.
When you're looking at physique, it's just stances, front, side, back. You're just looking at a body. What our job is to do, it's not posing, it's looking good standing there. You have to build your aesthetics to a point where you don't have to pose to look good.
A lot of people don't think that you have to practice posing as a men's physique, but you do. Presentation, believe it or not, still comes into big play. We're looking for the muscularity, the taper, symmetry.
It also could be why the open bodybuilders hate men's physique so much, because men's physique guys are so much more appealable to girls, whereas girls don't like bodybuilders, so maybe there's a little bit of jealousy in there, you know?
The boy short guys are you know, the pretty boys, modeling contract seeking motherfuckers. They probably won't get that much respect. Well, if I offended any of you motherfuckers, fuck y'all.
Eu consigo fazer uma capa de revista, eu consigo fazer uma campanha de cueca, eu consigo, de repente, ficar numa imagem onde você vai me achar muito, muito mais forte, eu consigo ficar seco e...
Those guys are just big and freaky, and some people are just intimidated by that kind of muscle and size. But, I mean, if you're in the sport, you understand, like, that's the top of the food chain.
Quando eu pensei em ser atleta, eu queria ser men's physique. Mas quando eu cheguei no meu primeiro treinador, quis ver o meu físico por completo, e aí foi quando ele falou, você não pode deixar escondida essa sua perna, você tem que mostrar o ponto forte do seu físico, então vai para bodybuilding.
Sou o Dr. André Santos, fisioterapeuta especialista em quiropraxia, e agora para San Marino, para a estreia dele no Pro, a gente vem trabalhando algumas coisas específicas, como por exemplo o dorsal, o volume do dorsal, a gente tem trabalhado. Bora.
É essencial na minha preparação, né? Porque a gente leva o nosso corpo ao extremo todos os dias. É o que eu costumo dizer, né? O pessoal que fala que o bodybuilding é um atleta solitário. Não, não é. Eu acho completamente ao contrário. Sozinho a gente não consegue fazer nada, né? Sozinho a gente não chega em lugar nenhum.
loud and like unclear, and then the end is so low.
That one could probably fix the volume.
I always wanted to do an Egyptian-themed routine. It's always been in my back of my head because I'm like, I'm Egyptian. I have to do that one day. I'm so proud of being Egyptian, and my mom's family is Jewish, and my dad is Muslim. So that gives really an awesome dynamic in terms of my family goes.
The most important question, can you sacrifice everything to get on this level to be better you next time when you compete? Unfortunately, not everyone can sacrifice. Sacrifice time with your family, sacrifice time with your second half, sacrifice time with your kids. So it's hard, you know, for most of people.
Like I was living, breathing, sleeping bodybuilding since I'm little without knowing that I was doing that. And I'd love to be that person that could, you know, win Miss Olympia a couple of times. I mean, I do have a life. Like I can't see myself winning Miss Olympia and then trying to do it another 10 times. My body's just not gonna handle it. Not just that, but I wanna live a normal life one day. I mean, I've been doing athletics and being a pro athlete my whole life. I'm 25. And even though I'm young, almost 25 years of that, you still yearn for like, I wanna be a mom one day.
I got you! My kids will always be, my number one priority. If anything was ever not okay with them, if they ever did not support what I did, if they needed me and I was not available because I was focused on competing would be put aside, obviously. They are my number one priority. But I'm fortunate, I have 2 healthy kids, I have happy kids, I'm able to balance being a single mom because I've had years to try to figure it out. I've been able to make it work. They get to do all the activities that they want to do. They're playing major into sports. Every single day we have something going on. But again, it requires me getting up super early in order to get my cardio in. I have to have my schedule dialed in to the minute because there's no other way I could do it.
Generally speaking, an African bodybuilder is much stronger and more endurant simply because of the hardship that a lot of us are coming from. You have a kid who has walked about half of his life. It's just going to be easier for him to do than somebody who for his whole life has not even carried, let's say, a 30-kilo material on his head.
Collins' show is a success, not because of any prizes given, but because it provides a platform to inspire other local athletes as they aim to create their own brand of natural bodybuilding.
Being a natural bodybuilder and getting all this attention, this is what people like me for. They look at my physique as natural as it is and they like it. That is good inspiration. That is something they can look up to. That's something they can aspire to.
Most of the times when people see you being a bodybuilder, they have the notion that you might be taking steroids or something. But I think you can do bodybuilding with just food. Yeah. You can do it with food and supplement if you can afford.
When you're a pro bodybuilder, every single one is on steroids. Let's make that clear, right? You know that, right? Best of the best, no names mentioned.
I've worked with men who will say, if you told me that taking anabolic steroids is going to take 20 years off my life, I would still do it, because at least I would be big and muscular in the time I was here.
It's incredible science. So there's hundreds of steroids that have been produced in the world since the 1940s and 30s. They're either for human grade use or animal use. Equipoise, it's for horses, dogs, and cats. But these men use all these mixed. They're all mixed.
There's something pathological about that. That's not a healthy way of thinking, because at the end, it's not about being muscular, it's about being happy, being confident, being accepted.
The regular dose for a testosterone replacement patient is about 100 milligrams of ester per week. Bodybuilders and strength athletes and strongmen can use upwards of 5 grams a week. 100 to 5,000.
It's risk versus benefit ratio. And I always tell people that if they want to go down that road, that's up to them. But when you're 25, you don't give a shit. You know, when you're 25, you just want to be the best in the world and be Mr. Olympia. So when you get older, I think you start thinking about it more.
Well, when you see bodybuilders die at a young age, like Dallas McCarver, I think it's really, really sad. There was a guy who had great potential in being, you know, a great bodybuilder, and, you know, his life coming down short for whatever reasons from, you know, whatever he did in bodybuilding. I was worried about my health, you know, I think, you know, my injury that caused me to retire early was probably a blessing in disguise, because I would have probably pushed my body, you know, to the limits to try to keep up with the bodybuilders that were like getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Even back then, there wasn't much emphasis on steroids. I know when I got into it, I was more about the training hard, the eating, you know, that sort of thing. Steroids is like I heard about it and I knew it was in the sport, but it wasn't so like now you go on any website today, forums, that's all people talk about is drugs, steroids. It just drives me mad.
Social media has a lot of benefits and a lot of pitfalls, and one of the pitfalls are it disseminates a lot of unhealthy information where young people have access to it and now can see some bodybuilder or someone saying, oh, well, if you do this, this, and this, then you could look this big.
Let me put it to you this way. Okay, look, I have a lot of friends in whole different genres of sports. Football, baseball, basketball, and many of them are professional. Golfers use steroids, okay? It's just a thing. It's just, I mean, the kids at the gym, just recreational little, you know, Jersey Shore douchebags I see at the gym. They're all juiced up and to the max and what have you. Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
So why they target bodybuilder? Because bodybuilders, they take off their clothes. They are in their, you know, shorts or trunks on stage. Obviously, the physique is much different than a normal person. So people don't see hard work and effort that go behind. You can take enhancers, you can take this and that, but at the same time, you can't buy the hard work which people put.
With 1 week before the competition in San Marino, Verinder trains with his mentor, Shiru, in their home state of Punjab. There is a certain level of pride in this region, and a good performance on a European soil would mean a lot to them.
Yes, come on, bro. Try to do it.
Good. Yep. San Marino, bro. Come on. Yep. He's been working much harder since the last 6 months. Plus his major challenge, which also I see, he's a vegetarian. When I was competing, you know, me being vegetarian, things responded me.
A beast from India. bodybuilding is so mental. That's what you have to do. You have to sacrifice everything in your life. If you're not ready here, you know, bodybuilding is 80% mental.
Before the competition, bodybuilders go through a cutting phase. It's a complex process that requires balancing carbs, protein, water, and sodium intake. Each body reacts differently to this process. The adjustments in diet and water intake are done on a daily basis, all the way up to the competition. Most bodybuilders don't consume any water the day of the show to make their bodies look like an anatomy chart. But dehydration can break down even the most experienced bodybuilder.
You got to be in the great condition. You got to be your pose right, and everything has to flow. The symmetry has to be like, you know, where you create that V taper, and you have round muscle bellies, and you know it's defined, and you know, and whoever poses and shows off their strong points and hides their weaknesses against the other guys is usually picked as a winner. We all have our strong points. I mean, I was great at hiding the flaws that I had, and trust me, everyone has some. And, you know, it took me a long time to overcome a lot of that to be able to be the champion and consistently win.
Made it to top 2. He now goes toe-to-toe against one of the top men's open bodybuilders in the world.
Second place, the silver medal. Take that to competitor number 4,
He came close, but being number 2, despite the weight category, will never be enough for the Persian Wolf.
These guys, if they don't win, the membership in the gyms come down, they get blasted in social media, the haters will come out and they'll take away everything they have. So to them, it's life or death for these Iranians. It's everything to them. You know, it's everything to them. It's the passion, it's so strong. That's why they get upset and they go and they cry and they do this and they do that.
There's always going to be controversy no matter who wins and who. You know, the only one that's happy is the guy that wins a show or the female that wins a show. Everybody else is always going to be unhappy from second on down. So what can you do?
Tired. Finish.
Placing 7th was not the result he wanted, but Rafael is at peace with the placement. He achieved his goal and made the pro debut in the world arena. For Verinder, the result wasn't as expected. Being a vegetarian puts him at a disadvantage for gaining muscle mass, and he knows it. But he's determined to continue his career and rep his nation around the world.
From front, Verinder is very good. as good as any other guy in the world right now. His problem is always in the back, the hamstring and the back cut up thing. Give him like 6 months or 1 year, you will see a new Vrinder coming up.
A day before the New York Pro, Regan pays a visit to Steve Weinberger, a head IABB judge. A visit is a tradition of sorts among the top pros who want to hear an honest and credible opinion about their progress. Because Steve doesn't sugarcoat. His opinions are usually sharp and to the point. However, suddenly Regan has an announcement of his own.
Hey Steve, there's some big news. I'm doing classic.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be an amazing open competitor. Big size, great shape, really good conditioning. I thought this is a guy that could be really a top Mr. Olympia contender. When he told me that he's doing classic physique, and I was pretty much shocked because I thought he'd be one of the new big stars. I can't believe he lost that much mass. If you would have told me the day before he's come in and tell me he's not going to be doing the open and he's going to be doing classic and he's going to win, I would say you're out of your mind. I wouldn't think it was going to happen. It's going to be dangerous also.
Yeah, thank you. I just think I think I have a better shot.
I agree.
Some of these guys, all the power to them, and they look amazing, but some guys I just don't aspire to look like that, you know? I don't want to be that big. Like, I don't want to be 330 or 320, you know? You're your own person, I guess, and, you know, you got to bring what you like, you know? So even, I mean, if the judges want me at 300, I don't know if I'd even go to 300 because it wouldn't be healthy for me. I wouldn't feel good. And B, that's probably not the physique that I want to be like.
I think it seems like classic physique is going to be the most popular thing. That's what I see. Because you got to think, there's so many more people who could be on that level of genetically gifted and work ethic and everything I need to. But there's like the Phil Heath is the one in a billion.
But anyway, the classic physique turned out to be one of our fastest exploding divisions.
I think it's definitely not an easy way out. It's different, I guess, in many ways, but I know for a fact they train with a professional open bodybuilder every single day. We're still all working just as hard, and there's sacrifices that every division is gonna have to make in this. Nothing's easy. If you don't give it 100%, then you won't be successful.
There's no easy way out. That's insulting to the classic physique guys. If you look at the group of classic physique guys, there's nothing easy about winning a pro show anymore. I mean, these guys are for real. I mean, they train just like the bodybuilders, they're even harder.
Classic physique is all about balance to me. Balance and conditioning. To me, it's a Greek statue. You want to showcase the physique. It's not just overall pure mass. When classic physique is balance first.
Classic represents the artsy side. It is showing you straight up art in classic.
It's very cool to watch, but after a while, you see the same routines over and over. Regan's going to be Mr. Olympia men's open at some point. I think he's a one-and-done guy in this classic contest he's doing now because I know he's going to have trouble bringing the weight down. There's a lot of potential there to be a men's open bodybuilder. And a lot of bodybuilders don't make it in the open class, so they fall down into classic. Well, guess what? The waist isn't small enough or the lines aren't good enough, and then they're pushed out. In 5 years, watch the comeback in the sport of bodybuilding in the men's open side.
Imagine that.
I'm telling you right now, it's extremely light.
How would you do 2 coats here?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, let's see the hamstring from behind. You can feel it. I mean, I know you got control. I can feel it.
I know I've worked so hard for the competition that I'm ready, you know, now it's time to just display what I've worked for.
first place finish proved that switching to Classic was the right decision for Regan, but the stakes would only get higher and competition fierce, as he is now part of the fastest growing division in the Pro League.
Когда познакомился со своей женой, она меня во всем поддерживала. Сейчас у него, слава богу, есть дочь. Я хочу еще 2 детей. И поэтому ради их будущего я сейчас работаю над этим. Поэтому как бы никак это мне не мешает. Это наоборот дает мне больше мотивации идти дальше вперед, потому что когда я был в детском доме, я всегда говорил то, что мои дети никогда не будут в детском доме, и то, что они никогда не будут ни в чем нуждать.
Ты сахар заметил, или сахар? Вот, начал подготовку. Сам знаешь, ответственный чемпионат. Еще время есть, но...
У тебя получится, но тебе надо... Удар надо дать, ты знаешь где.
Я же работаю, ты сам видишь каждый день.
Но остается только один часть, вот этот надо удар дать, и будет офигенно все. Тимур что говорит насчет Америку?
Ничего, говорит, готовься. Конечно, мотивация в главу. Такой мотивации еще никогда не было. Думаю, поедем.
Но там другой уровень.
Я, конечно, понимаю, теперь я буду работать в 2 раза больше, в 2 раза усерднее, потому что я понимаю, куда я готовлюсь.
это другой уровень вообще. Хочу, чтобы я даже представляю, как это будет выглядеть, если ты выиграешь на Arnold Classic. И еще, если ты выиграешь абсолютку, там это уже будет там.
We return to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, where every year about 100,000 people gather for the fitness expo and the competitions. Everything seems familiar. Crowds of eager fans, cold March winds, and a lot of excitement as the people gather here from all over the world. But for the competitors, there is no time for excitement.
Люди первый раз, когда попадут в Америку, у них будут другие взгляды, да, вот, ой, Америка, потому что многие мечтают туда попасть. Потому что, говорят, там рай для спортсменов и очень необычная жизнь, если мы сравнивать будем в Узбекистане, да, вот, то есть мы пришли выступать, мы пришли победить. Мы пришли поднять флаг, чтобы про нас знали. О, Миша! Нормально? Как ты себя чувствуешь?
Тише, как дела? Как самочувствие? Нормально? Выспался? Конечно. Акклиматизировался? Да, все супер. Вот есть, смотри, пошел есть. Все, вот это уже конечная фаза. Отлично. Есть. И икроножный тоже в этот раз сохранился хорошо. Вот, есть. Ну-ка, сечку дай. Вот он, смотри, каждый сечется, все пошло уже, все в сечку уже.
Молодец.
Есть, отлично, давай. Главное это, спокойно, не нервничаешь, чтобы не перегореть. Глядишь, еще и про-карту получишь в любом случае.
It's finally time. This is what they have been working for. Misha and the rest of the amateur bodybuilders get compared during a tedious prejudging round. Meanwhile, Ariel and Whitney go through their prejudging, the physique round.
When I first came out, the judges didn't even look at me. They were looking down, they were like shuffling papers. There was only a couple of judges that were really looking at me. But yeah, I mean, that's like not a great feeling because you work really hard for this. You know, I'm not really sure what they were expecting from me, but I think I did the best that I could. So I just want to go out there in a routine and kind of kill it now.
Men's Physique 2018. Big smiles, small waists. That's what it's about, boys.
While the first round of women's fitness may only be worth 30% of their overall score, prejudging for men's physique division is everything. This is the round where athletes get compared and continually narrowed down to the best until top competitors are next to each other, center stage.
But you notice these guys,
5 and 16
you can
switch.
see the ones that really train their legs through their shorts. Right there, number 16, Brandon Henderson being one of them. Those shorts are tight. His quads are busting through those things. Respect to that. Got to balance that body out.
Emotions run high and stress is always present as the athletes try to inch their way closer to the judges in the attempt to make themselves look bigger and more defined. Everything is on the line with the few minutes they have on this stage.
Andre, move up.
I know myself, I don't focus on people like when I prep. My focus is on beating everyone. So how am I focusing on Brandon? I'm here to beat everyone. I'm focusing on me.
The judges narrow it down to the top 3 physiques and compare them. While they know they've placed well, they have to wait until the award ceremony to see who gets the gold.
That's your point. You're fixing it. Which is fine. I feel like I'm only competing against myself. I never go into a show saying, I have to win, or I have to do this, I have to do that. Because at the end of the day, if I do the best that I can do, I can't be any happier with that.
If you want to be at the elite level, you go all in and you give it everything you've got and you attack it every single day. It takes a very specific person to be at the top. If you're not cut out for it, don't get in. The people who are at the top, they don't need to talk about it. They're not complaining about anything. They're working, they are grinding, they are doing everything that is required and it's necessary to get there. But people aren't willing to do that because it's not easy to be in it. It's not easy to be at the top. This is a serious thing. There's too many serious athletes. There's too many people who are so dedicated and want it so bad. Those are the people who get it. Those are the people who deserve it. You have to be relentless. You have to be fearless in everything you want. Those people who want it know it, and there is nothing stopping them.
Самое интересное, мне Арнольд Шварценеггер говорит, ты откуда, говорит? Я говорю, то, что я с Узбекистана. Он говорит, сколько лет ты тренируешь? И такая пауза, все соревнования остановились на всех телевизорах. Наша сцена с Арнольдом. Такая тишина в зале, ну там очень много народу было. И я ему говорю то, что я не знаю английский язык. И такая волна в зале, во, как тогда, короче, они что-то такое ждали, то, что я сейчас что-то скажу.
And the winner of $1,500 for third place, Brandon Hendrickson.
This is the year we've been working for this moment because I want the titles.
You cannot be champion without difficult times and without losing. It's experience. It's great experience. And without this experience, you cannot become a champ. When you just got trophy very fast for 1 or 2 years, it doesn't make you stronger person. It doesn't make you real champion with good future.
At first, when I told him that I wanted to pursue bodybuilding, all my dad was worried about was like, what about retirement? What about insurance? He was worried about that, the stuff that I wasn't thinking about. And then I started competing and doing well, and he saw that I was, becoming successful in the sport, and so he was starting to believe in my vision a lot more.
The pursuit of the perfect physique is what often unites the men and women who dedicate their lives to the iron. Their path might be discouraging at times and even dangerous. At the end of the day, most know that achieving perfection is not possible, but that doesn't stop them. And whether they live in the East or West, having little or much resource, that ultimately has little to do with their dream, as they will always find a way.
I heard Lee Haney say this when I was a teenager. He said, great champions don't come back. They focus and capture their now, and they move on with their development. There's many, many more things that you're supposed to do and accomplish in your lifetime. Great champions don't come back, they be back.
I'm on the mission, destroy competition, whoever, whatever. I view it all as opposition. Ain't came to lose, I came to win. So, if you ain't with me, you against me. Listen. I'm a rose that grew from the concrete. Look how I'm grown. See the scratches on my petals, scars on my thorn. I know you see it. It's win or lose, do or die, ain't no in-betweens. Ain't no in-betweens, y'all. So you can call it what you want, but it's all I ever known. They tell me go hard, or go home. So I go hard, then go harder, go hard, or go home. So I go hard, then go harder, yeah. I've been beaten, battered, and bruised. Look at my heart and see my wounds. Look deep in my eyes. I bet you see that it's consumed by this yearning wind, motivated by my pain. Instead of mashing with a passion, nothing to lose, all to gain. I've been through it all, from the highs to the lows. Stood firm at all costs, no matter how it goes. Yeah, I'm a rose that grew from the concrete. Look how I'm grown. See the scratches on my petals, scars on my thorns. I know you see it. It's win or lose, do or die, ain't no in-between. Ain't no in-between, y'all. So you can call it what you want, but it's all I ever known. They tell me go hard, or go home. So I go hard, then go harder, go hard, or go home. So I go hard, then go harder. Either you do it, or don't, no time to cry about it. Either you burn or stand firm, willing to die about it. Writing black and white on that wall, you truth or lie about it. Struggling strain to gas the flame and it fry about it. See it brimstone and fire, gnashing the teeth, oh this is hell here. Women try to survive, but often fell here. No reception in this wild, waiting on God call. Devils calling loud, steady waiting on you to fall. You ever seen the demons eat an angel? They get on their knees with bloody teeth like God thank you. Trick you right about your life out here. No peace and pity for your kitties or your wife out here. Talking bleak without the Rockefeller. Talking eating cheese without the mozzarella. Desperation breed a fool with it. In it to win it, what you gonna do with it? Cause me, I'm a rose that grew from the concrete. Look how I'm grown. See the scratches on my petals, scars on my thorns. I know you see it. It's win or lose, do or die, ain't no in-betweens. Ain't no in-betweens, y'all. So you can call it what you want, but it's all I ever known. They tell me go hard, or go